Well, how's it going, my friends? Today, we will be going over the one, the only, Alolan Ninetales. Let's get into it. Alolan Ninetales is insanely good and one of my favorite, if not my favorite Pokemon to play in Pokemon Unite. She does very well offensively as well as defensively. She's an attacker and she can deal quite a bit of damage, but in organized play, I tend to use her more as a support instead of the main damage dealer. Here are her stats. With high attack, good support, and decent scoring, at level 4 she'll level up from Vulpix to Ninetales and have a huge jump in her special attack. This makes her very good early game. Her stats scale well, and the moves that she has does really well throughout the whole game. More importantly, they do well in the late game. Her passive is Snow Warning. This causes snow to fall on opposing Pokemon, dealing damage to them and decreasing their movement speed for a short time. Her basic attack is a ranged attack, and every third hit will be boosted. This boosted attack will deal damage to nearby opposing Pokemon and decrease their movement speed for a short time. This boosted attack does scale off special attack, so special attack items are very helpful, especially if you choose Aurora Veil, which you should, but we'll get into that later. You will see above the opposing Pokemon a snowflake form above their head. This snowflake has 4 sections, and some of Ninetales' attacks will cause 1 to 2 of these sections to fill. Once the whole snowflake or all 4 sections are full, the opponent will be frozen for about 1 second. Here are the moves that will fill 1 section of the snowflake. And these are the moves that will fill 2 sections of the snowflake. So you'll start the game with Icy Wind and Powder Snow. I would recommend first picking Powder Snow right out the gate because the cooldown time is much shorter and it's easier to hit both A-Palms down the lane. These 2 moves are pretty straightforward and not too important because you only use them for the first 2 minutes of the game. Avalanche will create a wall of ice for about 1 second. This attack will deal damage at the start of the attack in the direction you pick, then deal the same amount of damage again when the ice wall explodes. If they're not in the radius of the wall when it explodes, they will not take that second hit of damage. The wall can be used to block opponents in or out. I found it pretty difficult to block effectively, but it could work. Blizzard is a lot like Icy Wind. It will push opponents away in the direction of the move. It will also deal damage twice, once instantly when the move is used, and again when the gust of wind goes through. This move is great at keeping people away or pushing them in the direction you want. Aurora Veil will create a circular veil around you and last for 5 seconds. While in it, you and your allies will take less damage. Also, when you're in it, all your normal attacks will be boosted attacks. Dazzling Gleam will spray over an area and deal a good amount of damage, as well as stun the opponent. Ninetales' Unite move will deal damage to everyone in an area around you. Then just like all the other Unite moves, your attack and speed will be increased. If you're able to use your Unite move on a frozen opponent, it will deal extra damage. I found this pretty difficult to do because most of the time, they'll unfreeze before you can execute your Unite move. Avalanche and Blizzard do really well together. If you're able to use Blizzard to push them into your ice wall from Avalanche, it will deal extra damage. These 2 moves together make for great burst damage. Aurora Veil and Dazzling Gleam are also a great combo and make for a very well-rounded moveset. Dazzling Gleam and Blizzard could make for a very defensive build if you need that. What I prefer and what I would always suggest to go with is Aurora Veil and Dazzling Gleam. These 2 moves provide such good utility in so many cases and are much more solid and reliable choice. Alolan Ninetales can pretty much be paired with anyone. She does really well with ranged because you can space people out, and Ninetales' moves do a great job at keeping people away. She also excels with combat attackers because she can support them from a distance. Ninetales is weak to anyone that can close the gap quickly. If alone, she won't do very well against high damage dealers because she won't deal quite as much damage as most heavy hitters can. That's why she's optimal as a support attacker. These are the held items that you'll always want to have on Ninetales. Wise Glasses, which is a staple for any special attacker. This will increase damage from all of her special moves, as well as her boosted attack, and if you're running Aurora Veil, this will help a lot. Buddy Barrier, which is the best item in the game, especially great for support. Some options for a third held item are Muscle Band and Soothe Bell, which both do really great with Ninetales. If for some reason you want to be a little bit more tanky, Focus Band is amazing. The battle item that I always choose for Ninetales is Eject Button. Ninetales doesn't have very good mobility or any escape options. In some cases, the X attack could be helpful for a bit more damage, but it's difficult to use consistently. Possibly full heal in the future depending how the status is due. Potion if you want to go with a tanky build. But the best battle item in the game, and the one you should probably use, is Eject Button. I absolutely love Alolan Ninetales. Such an amazing Pokemon, so powerful, extremely versatile, and should pretty much be on every team if you want to win. So now we'll be going over some Alolan Ninetales gameplay. As you can see, I'm running the Wise Glasses, Buddy Barrier, Shell Bell. Gonna go Top Path. Alolan Ninetales does really well Top Path, as well as you have more control over if you're gonna go fight Dreadnought, of course. Now start with Powder Snow. As you can see, I used it right off the bat, right to hit that. So then the next Powder Snow cooldown will hit that second Apom, and you usually can hit both of them, and it'll cool down by the time you hit both of the Apoms. I just missed that time, but if you hit it at the tip of the fan, or you can hit it at an angle to get both of them, that's usually the optimal way to start off. And I don't know why I went after that first Apom at the top right there. Kind of gave him that middle farm. So I see it's open, go try and score, which is kind of a bad idea because they were just down there. Now little Machop is really weak early game, so it's kind of rough. But luckily Alolan Ninetales does really well early on. As soon as he reaches level 4, just huge power spike right there. You almost always have an advantage over the opponents. Snorlax, not so much, but Routes definitely huge advantage over the Routes at the beginning. I'm picking Dazzling Gleam. Obviously gonna go with Dazzling Gleam, Aurora Veil. So they way overextended, got way too close. Almost had this Routes. Tried to get it with the Icy Wind, but that let us take these farms. So I went, tried to steal this Apom real quick, which I did. Alolan's super good at that. With ranged attacks, as well as pretty powerful starting attacks, you can go steal the farms so easily. I love hiding in the bushes. You can surprise people pretty good. Stunning them, pushing them, freezing them. If people overextend, then they get punished pretty bad by Ninetales. So you see the Snorlax ran into the grass. So if I didn't see him in the grass, my passive Snow Warning, it would have fallen on him in the grass. So that's a really nice way for Alolan Ninetales to tell if someone's in the grass, is it'll still hit them, pretty much give away their position. Try to get the berry, but I'm not low. See, I tried to steal it from him, but then my eject button went a little too far. So we got him. I love casting that Aurora Veil right there. The tip of it is barely in the goal zone. So that way I can bounce between in and out of my goal. Yeah, barely get this kill. Apom just, oh, little Ninetales, little butt wiggle, just scoring. I love it. I'm not really sure why I did that Aurora Veil right there. A little extra defense maybe. She's also great at farming because of those AoE attacks. Super nice. This Curlia keeps trying to score. Look at that. 1v2ing with Alolan Ninetales. So good. Oh, and then I expected him to keep running forward, but then he ran away. I still get him. Yeah, normally I would go down. I was in contact with my team, and they were down there, so they sounded, the situation down there was pretty good. Plus there were 2 up here, so I kind of figured 4v3 down there should be fine. Plus, if one person stays up here, usually there's a lot more chances to farm for that one person if you can handle the Dreadnought down at the bottom. The rest of your team can. So you can see, again, hiding in the bushes. So now I know my Gengar was up there. Champ just got there, so now's the time. Make a score. Gengar sadly didn't score, so we push, try and help him score. But then of course they get there, so we try and take him out. Use my Unite move. Nice, we can get them all out. We are able to score. Stealing their farms a little bit. Yeah, so usually as Alolan, you want to stay outside of the battle. If you have any other ranged teammates, kind of stay by them. Aurora Veil will help boost them as well, give them a little extra defense. But yeah, she does so well just barely outside of battle, as most ranged attackers do, you know, clearly. Look at that, just destroy a Snorlax. That Curlia doing a little bit more damage than we'd like. So I was pretty low. I didn't want to push that Rotom. Kind of figured it'd be a good distraction. I think I was going to go down, but then again, I was in contact with my teammates. They had a handle on it, so I figured go up top. I knew that the Curlia as well as the Snorlax were up at the top, so I kind of figured wouldn't be outnumbered down at the bottom. They don't even get the Rotom, and then we end up getting them. Oh, I feel kind of bad. Rotom goes in there, we score. Perfect. And start getting their farms. Snorlax pushes us. See, that was just great. Snorlax got a little bit too close, so I was able to stun him, freeze him, and then just like that, me and the Machamp just took him out. Nothing he could do. I feel like Ninetales is the queen of punishing overextenders. So they get too close and then they just can't escape. See right there, gets that Curlia in. One Dazzling Gleam and then 2 shots from, 2 boosted shots from Aurora Veil. I barely missed that future sight right there. That was nice. I don't think the Machamp did though. So I figured if we wanted to go after Zapdos, might as well get this buff. Hopefully get myself up to 14. Those final group fights are the most pivotal in the game. So I wanted to be prepared. So when we're fighting Zapdos, I always set my Aurora Veil right there. That way, if their team does start coming in, I can hit them and hopefully fend them off, stun them, freeze them, you know, start putting damage on them before they get closer to Zapdos. So I love just planting it right there. I think it's a perfect spot. So here you just score big. Try returning to base, but I think I barely get hit, yeah. All these wild Pokemon. Yeah, something about her passive is it will attack the wild Pokemon and then they will start coming after you. So sometimes, if you're in the grass hiding, it will just hit them and then they'll start running after you and could give your position away. Or if you're trying to return to base, sometimes the wild Pokemon will come and get you. See right here that Zeraora tries to score, pretty much assuming I'm gonna die, but I hang in there just a little bit and just crazy. Just so good. Oh man. Love it. It was a good game. Yeah, we always had it up top. Just always had the advantage. Did so well. My teammates also did super well that game. It was good. As usual, thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, you know how it goes. Oh, I've been recording. Does she even have Ninetales?